All right, guys. Our next guest has been the man behind the striking of two of MMA's most notorious brothers, the Diaz brothers. He will be helping prepare Nate Diaz for his fight against Conor McGregor at UFC 196. He is none other than Richard Perez. Richard, welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So the last few days, Richard, must have been a whirlwind for everybody in Team Diaz. As a coach, what goes through your mind when one of your students tells you they have a fight coming up on 10 days' notice, especially such a huge, high-profile fight at such a big event?
What I do is I just get focused, and he gets focused, and we just start training. I mean, he's been training anyway, so it's not, it's, even though it's a 10-day notice or 2 weeks, whatever it is, he's been training, so we just pick it up a little higher in the notch, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Talk to us about that training. You say he's been training. What kind of training has been doing, and for how long?
Oh, he's always training. Nathan, he's always training. So it's not, I mean, he, come to the gym and he work on boxing. He'll go do jiu-jitsu. He'll run, but not steadily because, he does more jiu-jitsu steadily and running than anything else. And then when it comes to boxing, then he gets serious.
Well, with Conor McGregor's last opponents withdrawing from fights, was there much of a surprise on your part when you guys found out that Nate would be fighting Conor at this event?
Well, I was hoping they'd fight right after when he fought Aldo, but it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So, because that's the people they want to watch that fight, McGregor and Nate. So it wasn't a surprise. I was waiting for it.
When was the first time that you seriously heard Nate saying that he might fight Conor McGregor and that it would actually be booked? Was it in the last few days, or did you hear anything prior to that?
Well, he called me about 4 days ago and let me know, and they were going to call him back, and they did. So. It was like 3 days ago.
What was that conversation like? When he calls you up, take us through that. What did he say?
He just called me and said, "Rich, I'm fighting McGregor." I said, "All right." And I said, "What weight?" And he said, "Well, I don't know yet. We'll find out." So when he came back, it was 170. I said, "All right, that's better for you."
Well, the fight is, like we mentioned, in a week and is set to be at 170 pounds. Can you tell us what kind of weight is Nate currently sitting on?
He's right there, 171, 170.
Well, there you go. So he's got no issue, obviously, making the weight. And that's been a big topic discussed surrounding this fight, the weight itself. Nate claims that he agreed to fight at 155 from the beginning. Realistically, do you think it would have been possible for him to make 155 in that week?
Oh, yeah. Knowing Nathan, yeah. Yeah. But I like it better now that he's more comfortable. So, for me, anyway, but for him, yeah, he would have done it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Talk us through that, Richard, because like you mentioned, you prefer the 170. What are some of the benefits of Nate fighting at 170? Is it to do with the fact that he'll have more time to train and game plan for the fight and not so much time focusing on losing the weight?
Yeah, because he's not fighting weight. When you're cutting weight, you're fighting yourself already.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fine now. He's just focusing on training and getting it done, and getting it over with. That's what we're doing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just focusing on with him, and every day we just train every day.
So basically now Nate actually has a very small but nevertheless a little bit of time to actually train for this fight, as opposed to just trying to struggle with the weight. With that tiny amount of time to prove, I guess take us through what you'll be focusing on with him during the next week. Talk us through what Nate's daily training schedule will look like.
Well, he just jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing. That's what he's going to be focusing on.
Well, it is one of those things that only a very small handful of fighters can prepare for such a big fight with so little time. In all honesty, do you think this will be an issue for Nate to take this fight on such short notice? Because we have seen guys like Chad Mendes struggle. Obviously he wasn't in shape, and it was one of the downfalls against Conor McGregor. Here we have a Conor McGregor who's in shape. How much of an issue is this lack of time going to be for Nate in this fight, in your opinion?
Okay, but what weight were they fighting at?
145.
This was 145, so he would have had to cut some weight. Yeah.
So he was trying to cut the weight.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a big difference. Sure, 2 weeks notice is pretty short, but as far as the weight too, that helps a lot.
Right.
It makes a big difference. Believe me, because when you're cutting weight, you're fighting yourself already. In 2 weeks, it's a loss. You have to really struggle. But when you're not, then you're fine. You still got 2 weeks. You've got to focus on it, and we'll see what happens when you get in the ring and see, how good it is. But, we just got to focus on that and not stress out on it. Just do it.
It's often hard to get a read on Nate and, what's going through his mind at certain times. How's he been since this fight got announced? What kind of temperament has he been in?
No, we're just focusing. I mean, there's no temperament or anything. We're just focusing on training. That's how me and Nathan have a relationship. When it comes to training, we train. That's all there is to it. We don't talk about, oh man, we don't worry about nothing. We just get in and do it. That's the name of the game, and that's the way to do it. Stay focused, stay strong, mentally, physically.
Well, speaking of staying focused, I mean, there was obviously a lot of trash talk at the press conference between Nate and Conor. Nate's never faced anybody so vocal, and it's usually Nate who's been the one to get inside his opponent's head. What has it been like after the press event? Did he seem affected at all by Conor's trash talking?
Oh, he loves it. It just builds Nathan up. It just pumps him up more.
Do you think he feeds off it? Someone like a Conor McGregor saying all those personal things to him. Do you think he feeds off it during the fight?
Oh, heck yeah. I've seen it before where he gets all pumped up and, like Cowboy and it was, I can't remember the guy's name. I mean, he gets all pumped up into it, The Cowboy was, flipping him off and telling him all kinds of stuff, and it just made Nathan just more hyper, more pumped up to doing it.
Is it true that with Nate, the only time that a really, I don't want to say loses focus, but I guess let's say loses focus, the only time when that happens is when he's not really interested in the opponent, and then when he's got someone who makes it personal, it sort of helps him fight better?
Well, I don't know about that. I just know that either way, it doesn't bother him. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me either way because he, like I say, it's a mental game and it's a physical game, and if you don't have that mental up there, then you're going to lose it. And he has it.
Well, speaking of the comments made at the press conference, Conor himself claimed that Nate's ring generalship and ring control are amateurish. What do you make of those comments?
Well, of course he's going to say stuff like that. He's trying to get to Nathan's head. That's all. That's all he's doing. It's just a game, a mental game. That's what he's trying to do.
I guess with Conor, he sort of believes that there's truth behind everything that he says. Do you think it's just trash talk, or do you think he's trying to get at something specific about Nate?
It's trash talk, I mean, everybody trash talks, and McGregor is good at it, and so is Nathan. So, but when it comes to the fight, he can't talk to him. You got to use your body. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Nate made some comments during the press conference. He said everyone's on steroids, the whole UFC, everyone. What do you make from those comments? Because to a lot of people, it just seemed like something that slipped out. Do you think it's something that he stands behind, and is that something that you and him believe?
Oh, I sure do believe that. Heck yeah, some guys they get busted, and to be honest with you, I know McGregor's got to be on some kind of steroids. He's pretty big, and then all of a sudden jumping to 170. Yeah, there's no way, because I mean he was supposed to be fighting at 155. So if you think about it, he was focusing on training at 155. He only had 2 weeks to go, and all of a sudden he's going to jump to 170. So no, there's something going on, but still, I mean we're still going to fight, and that's all there is to it.
Well, obviously, there's been some things with weigh-ins in the past of the Diaz brothers. Obviously, GSP didn't make weight against Nick Diaz, that sort of thing. Is there anything else that stands out about Conor McGregor to you that makes you believe that he may be on steroids, apart from the fact that he is moving up weight?
Well, when Nathan mentioned it to him, he got defensive. He got angry. Mm-hmm. If somebody would have told me that I was fighting, he told me you're on steroids, I would laugh. I said, yeah, give me some more steroids. Heck yeah. Sure. But he got defensive and mad. I'm not on steroids. I'm not. He's like trying to defend himself. So that just his actions and the way he talked is there's something behind that.
It's interesting, and you know what? That's been a huge discussion point, leading up into this fight, and everyone's sort of been putting their psychologist hat on and discussing that reaction. I mean, as far as him being so big, which is something that people have been talking about, you wouldn't think it's anything to do with the fact that he's not going to 145 anymore, and he just doesn't have to cut that amount of weight anymore?
Well, all I know is that he was supposed to fight at 155, and for some reason I don't think he would have made the weight, because he was trying to go to 165 when he went to 170. So think about it. If you see that, you would think he had 2 more weeks to go. He would be close to 155 and stay on that, or go to 160. But he didn't. He jumped to 170. So that's kind of shady right there.
Well, those are without a shadow of a doubt some interesting accusations by you, Richard, and I just want to clarify them with you. So in your opinion, because obviously Conor McGregor accused Nate of not being able to make 155 pounds, Nate Diaz confirmed that he was able to make 155, and you're saying the same thing now. So in your opinion, you think it was in fact Conor McGregor that wasn't able to make the weight, and that's the reason why the fight is scheduled at 170 pounds?
Right, that's what I'm saying, that McGregor couldn't make the weight because he would have said, okay, let's go to 160 or let's go to 155 because Nathan was ready for it. And he didn't. So he jumped to 170. Why? You know? I mean, 2 weeks to go, and if you're a fighter and you've been training for 2 months or so, and then you're already cutting your weight down, so in 2 weeks you should be close to 155, at least 5 pounds over. You know? No, so all of a sudden 55 to 70. Oh boy, that's a big jump. So there's something fishy going on there. But it's all right, you know.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual matchup in itself. Like you mentioned, McGregor does say a lot of comments. Most recently, he said Nate is flat-footed. He has repetitive motions that are predictable for him, and he plans on hurting him early and making him pay after that. What would you say Nate's advantages are in this fight, especially in the striking department?
Well, the thing is, the striking department, Nathan's a lot better when he's in good shape and not injured or anything. So when it comes to the night of the fight, McGregor's going to be shocked.
Right, and Nate is definitely not injured, and he is going almost 100% into this one.
Oh yeah.
You've trained Nate since he was a teenager, and trained him for all the opponents. When you look at McGregor, what do you make of him as an opponent? Is he the most dangerous striker Nate's ever faced?
Well, McGregor's a good striker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not, but Nathan's better. I mean, when Nathan's on his game plan, he'll make him look silly.
Well, I'm sure you don't pay much attention to this, but a lot of people are looking at this fight stylistically as very favorable for Conor. Does it surprise you, and what do you think about that consensus?
Well, they're saying that because it's a 2 week notice, which is normal. I mean, any fighter that comes out with a 2 week notice, the chances are, it's against him. But if he's training hard and he can go out there and do what he always does good, it'll be a good fight.
Take us into your mind, because you say if Nate's on his game, he'll make Conor McGregor look silly. How do you visualize the fight going in just a week?
It'd probably go the distance. I'm saying it'd go the distance,
Right. So you are seeing this as something that's going to end up in the hands of the judges?
Probably.
And do you believe, what areas do you believe Nate will dominate Conor in this one?
Striking.
Okay.
If he gets in the ground too, because McGregor, I mean, if he's on the ground, he just wants to strike. He's not good at, setting up triangles or choke or anything. He's not that good at jiu-jitsu like Nathan is.
Obviously, one of the clear advantages you would think Nate would have would be the ground game. Do you think he'll take it to the ground, or do you think he'll keep it standing?
Well, if he can get to the ground, yeah. But if not, then he's going to stand. You just can't. I can't say he's going to, because then if McGregor's going to keep moving around and he can't get to him, then it's not going to go to the ground. So he's going to have to strike.
Nate's brother Nick is currently serving a suspension for marijuana courtesy of the Nevada Athletic Commission. Has there been any talk between you and Nate about marijuana use leading into this fight? It seems to be something a lot of fans are worried about, specifically to avoid, failing a drug test, because, the Diaz brothers have been known to smoke a little bit of marijuana here and there. No,
I'm not worried about it.
Even on such a short notice with 1 week, you believe that's enough for Diaz to sort of get everything out of his system?
Well, I don't get into personal business, so I don't know if he was doing it or not. But he doesn't seem like he's worried about it. He's training like he's going to fight. So if it did, then he would have said something. But he didn't say anything to me.
Sure. Richard, we really appreciate the time you're giving us. We've got 2 final questions before we let you go. Just something that we wanted to touch on. We mentioned Nick. The last time we spoke to you, you mentioned that you stopped training Nick because of some money discrepancy from the GSP fight. Just wondering for an update, how is your relationship with Nick these days? Are you back training with him at all?
No.
Right, okay. So we won't be seeing Richard Perez cornering any Nick Diaz fights anytime soon?
I can't say. You give me a question that I can't answer.
That's
sure,
fine.
For sure. But that's good, because it gives an opportunity that maybe in the future something will happen. Now, Richard, before we do let you go, final question. We have to know, how is the gym doing? We hear nothing but good things about Richard Perez boxing. Apart from Nate Diaz, who are some of the other fighters in the gym? And for fans around the area, how can they pop in and sort of do a bit of a workout with Richard Perez?
Well, I have some amateur kids that are doing really good. And I need to get a bigger place now. This is it's getting really packed. So I guess I'm doing something good.
It's a good problem to have when you need to upsize. So we're glad to hear that. Richard, of course, you're representing the 209, much like Nate Diaz. And you can catch Nate Diaz take on Conor McGregor at UFC 196 on March 5th. It's going to be the 6th in Australia. And, of course, Richard, you will be in Nate's corner. You can check out Richard Perez Boxing on Facebook or richardperezboxing.com for more information, specifically on how you can train with Richard. Richard, thank you so much for taking the time chatting with us today. And good luck next weekend. Really appreciate it.
And thank you for calling. Appreciate it.